Good morning, Mr. Ugochukwu. Thank you very much for taking part in the training last night. I just saw your questions, and as usual, this is not something we can give a straightforward yes or no answer to. Now, if I was going to type out the response, it would be plenty of typing. So I said, let me just record this voice note and then send it to you. Also, I'm going to put the this voice note up on the podcast so that you can refer to it from time to time. So let's look at your question in particular, the one that you asked around team building and whether team building is necessary for sales growth. And yes, when I spoke about sales being a system and sales being a process yesterday, this is not exactly what I had in mind, but actually, yes, it is true that eventually you're going to have to build a team to grow your business. That is, if you want to scale, if you want to grow something that is beyond you. Now, there are some people who are content with being a one man show or being a one woman gang. Now, for people like that, we can't force them and say that, they have to go out and hire a team. But for people who want to build businesses in the proper sense, yes, you have to build a team eventually. Now, there are some people that will hear this interaction between you and I and be saying, "What's the difference? Self-employed business. What's the difference? On our business. I'm a businessman." Okay, yes. In the normal way of talking in Nigeria, yeah, they're all the same. But actually, there is a difference. There's a significant difference. Now, the thing is, at this level, you, Ugochukwu, and me as well, we are one man gang. We're responsible for everything. But then, Danley, who, the other guy in during yesterday's training, the one that is into audio production, he has partners, he has employees, he has structure. So all of us, yes, in Nigeria way of talking, you say all our business, but really there's a difference. So God forbid, but you Ugochukwu and me, Tarishima, uh, how I put it, we need to be in good health all the time. We need to stay sharp all the time. We need to be producing all the time. We need to be in the field all the time. Because if we're not in the field, if we know the hustle, money will not come in. So that one is self-employed. Some people even say sole proprietorship, as they used to teach us in primary school. But anyway, you get the point. For you and me, our leg has to be on the throttle all the time. We have to be on the move. If we're not moving, money is not coming in. But now, Darnley now, he has a team. He and his wife, if business is going well, they can decide that let them just enter Cyprus. Then they'll go and flex for like 3 months. They will come back and they'll meet things moving if they have built a team well. So Danley is on the business level. You and I were still on the self-employed. So I'm not going to say one is better than the other. It just depends. What are you trying to build? There are some people who are doing a self-employed thing and they're okay. They're making their millions, they're paying school fees, they're taking care of everything, and they're okay. And that's their own dream. There's some people who are saying, no, I must build business. Then when I grow old, I will hand over the business to my children so that they will have something worthwhile, something doing, something that is a correct asset. It's just differences. What are we trying to build? So, but either way, Sha, eventually, if we really want to start seeing good money, we have to get to the point where we can scale results, scale efforts, multiply efforts beyond us. We'll have to hire a team because, how will I put it now? Okay, because you and me, we're in the field, self-employed. There's a limit to how much growth each of us can bring in. There's a limit to how many people we can talk to. There's a limit to how many deals we can negotiate. There's a limit to how many places you can travel. Oh, by the way, safe journey on this your trip. I'm assuming that you're on the way to Villa to go and see Chief again. So safe journey. And I'm trusting that the conversation will turn out well. So there's a limit to how many places we can travel. But by the time you hire two, three people can talk to more people. They can travel to more places. They can negotiate with more people. They can make more presentations. So it's just a something of mathematics at the end of the day. What do they call it? I think people call it network effects. So it's a matter of network effects. If I am me alone, there's a limit. By the time there's two of us, there's growth. By the time there's three, four, five, six, depending on how effective people are in the network. So yes, at a certain sense, proper sales growth means team building because that is the only way that we will scale. Now, to scale, of course, you have to hire a team. And there are two things that are very, very important now when it comes to hiring. Number one is the framework itself, or what business management people like to call standard operating procedure. Now, this is the idea behind standard operating procedure. The idea is, oh, by the way, Ugochukwu, I'm making this voice note, just normal at home. So just in case you hear any noise. And then my cleaning lady's around, she's cleaning the house. So, where was I now? Standard operating procedure. So the idea behind standard operating procedure is this: that whenever your boys or your sales girls or your partner or your whoever is helping you run this business, whenever they have any question, there should be a place in the office, in a file, in a folder, in a cabinet that they can go and check and then they will see the answer. Or there should be a place on your company system, in your company Google Drive, in your company, wherever that they can go and check. And so they can see the answer, they can see the solution, they can see the direction. Because if you don't have standard operating procedure, every single time there is basic, they'll have to now pick up the phone and call you. But if, let's say 2026 has been a very sweet year, so 2027 now, I know you're not married now, so let's just assume that this year, God will show you your missing rib. So if December 2026, you guys marry, and then, by February, you want to do nice, romantic getaway. And so let's say people go to, let's say, which place is nice now? Okay, let's just say Cyprus. Since Daniel and his wife, they're going to Cyprus. So if people will now decide to go to Cyprus for romantic staycation, a vacation or whatever, it will be somehow that you and Madame are trying to enjoy your newly married life. Then people from Nigeria, they're calling you to say, boss, this and this and this happened. Boss, Yawa don't gas. Boss, where can I find this? Boss, Ogbefi just called. How we handle this? It will be somehow. Your wife go to vex. Like this supposed to be, you and I just chilling. So that's the idea behind SOP, standard operating procedure. It just means you take all the frameworks that you have, you reduce them into writing. Whether you type it or whether you handwrite it or whatever is not important. At least for now, it's not important. The most important thing to start with is it is not in your head anymore. It is someplace where people can see it and they can refer to it. So for the purpose of sales, these are some of the things that you're going to reduce into your standard operating procedure or your written framework. You're going to write down the ICP. The ICP, just like we said during the training, is ideal customer profile. Because remember, Danley was saying that it's not every customer that he likes to chase. That there's some people that are not a good fit. Remember that quarrelsome woman that he spoke about? So he was happy when the quarrelsome madam said, I'm not doing, and she left. It's like that. You need to write it down on paper. Tell your people, who is the ideal customer? Who are the people that we like? The people that pay us well, the people that pay us on time, the people that don't price us too much, the people that get the best value from our product, they get the best value from our service, people that we love working with. Now, it might not be a bad idea to also write that these are the kinds of people that we don't like. Anybody who is like Madam and so, who does like this, or who doesn't need our product for this, or for this, or for that, these are people that we absolutely should not be talking to. So your standard operating procedure is not always positive. It's not always you write the things you like. Sometimes you also write the things you don't like. so that your boys and your girls, the people you're delegating to, they will now not go and put you inside a business marriage that will cause headache for you later. They'll go and unequally yoke you with one client that is giving you stress. So you put it down there, your ICP, the ideal customer profile. Then your SOP should also have outreach, how you prefer to do outreach. So we established yesterday that Danley likes to do everything online. His own is advertisements, blah, blah, blah. But for you, it's physical outreach, face to face. You have to put it down that this is how we approach people. So for Danley, when he's writing his own SOP, he'll be telling them, these are the segments that we are targeting online. This is the targeting criteria. This is how we run the campaign. This is how much we'll put in the advertising. This is how many days we'll set the advertising campaign for. So for you too, you have to go and write down the same thing. We do physical prospecting. This is the best place to meet people. We meet them in the office, or we meet them in their home, or we meet them here, or we meet them there. You put it down. Best way of outreach. This is how you greet people. This is how you start the conversation. All these sorts of things. Then you also have to put lead generation in your SOP, your standard operating procedure. Abi? SOP, standard operating procedure. Yeah, standard operating procedure. So you also put lead generation in your SOP. Lead generation just means, how do we get people to indicate, to show, to raise their hand, to show themselves that they might be interested in our product or our service? Now, lead generation is important because we always have to keep business moving. Because by the time you satisfy one customer today, you collect money, you'll be happy. But the thing is, after a while, you have to go and get another customer for things to move. So what is the plan? How do we get these customers? So you're doing all this traveling up and down around these kinds of holidays, to drum up business, but you put it down. We go here and here during so and so period because these and these and these are the kind of places where we can meet our customers. So back when I was doing events, wedding photography and video, so for me, it was business expos, wedding fairs. So you put it down. That's if I was going to get a team to sign on my behalf, it's something I'll have to write down. That look, wedding expos, very important. So therefore, in Abuja, we have 4 wedding expos every year. We need to make sure that we attend this expo in March, this expo in was it June, maybe July, this expo in November, and I can't remember which one, is part of lead generation. We have to put it down because that is how we go and we get people to show that they might be interested in our product or service. Because it's when, like for me, it's when I was on the floor and I was interacting with brides and grooms. It is then I'll get a sense of, oh, okay, these people are about to get married soon. It looks like they're serious. Okay, it's good. Let me bring this person back to the booth. Let's have a one-on-one conversation. Let me collect their contact details. And then, later on, we'll carry it on from there. So lead generation. Then you also have to put qualification and discovery as part of your standard operating procedure. Qualification and discovery is the part of the conversation or the part of the business relationship where you are trying to learn from all these people. So just like the last time that you traveled to Villa and you met Chief and you want him to buy into your investment opportunity. Some of the questions that you should have been asking Chief, we haven't discussed it yet. We'll discuss it then. So some of the questions that you should have been asking Chief was around like his investing history. You don't go and say, what's your investing history? You just start it from general gist, but then eventually, you start asking questions about how he got into the real estate business, blah, 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 the kinds of properties that he likes, the kind of things he has invested in the past, the things that have given him the greatest returns, the kind of properties that he likes to invest in. That is you asking about his investment history, his risk appetite. What else? Anyway, so all that is qualification and discovery. You're trying to figure out things about the person, trying to figure out things about the opportunity, because from there, you will now know whether this your investment opportunity is a good one for Chief or not. It is from there that you will make the proposal. So you have to put it in your SOP. When you're with customers, be sure to be asking them questions around these kinds of issues because that's how we'll know when we're dealing with a good customer or not. Then part of your SOP, standard operating procedure, or your framework for these your team members that you will hire that should sell for your behalf will include a presentation or proposals. This is how we make presentation or proposals. In this our office, we'll always do PowerPoint, or we should always go to their house and sit down with pen and paper, or we'll create a Microsoft document and then send it to them first, or whatever it is that you prefer, but put it in writing so that everybody knows that this is how Oga likes us to do it. That we must invite them to the office, they must sit in the conference hall, and we must put on our HD TV, connect the laptop to the HD TV, and then give our presentation that way. If that is how you have discovered that it works well for your clients so that you close deals, it should be in the standard operating procedure. Let everybody know that this is what Oga says we should be doing. Then you will also talk about closing your standard operating procedure. This is how we close the deal. Then you also put some notes there about referrals because after a while, if Chief is happy, it only makes sense that you ask Chief that, okay, since you're happy with this investment opportunity, since it's giving this kind of returns, Chief, I hope you don't mind. Can you introduce me to so and so? So you need to put it in your standard operating procedure how you're going to ask, how people should be asking for referrals. So these are some of the things that should be in your SOP, standard operating procedure. So, God willing, if December 2026 you find your missing rib, then by February 2nd, you guys are off to Cyprus. This is how you'll be able to enjoy yourself in Cyprus. Because if there's anything, any problem, all this person has to do is go into the office. Let's say you wrote all these things down and you put it in your file cabinet, under your desk. They just know that if they go there, they will find all the answers. So that if they are calling you at all in Cyprus, it is only because there is a big emergency. And that way, your new wife, she won't vex. She will understand. Not that people will be calling you every day. So yes, we hire a team so we can grow well, so we can scale, but we need an SOP so that the team knows exactly what to do. In fact, it is that SOP that you use to even train the team. So when you hire them, you will train them. When they come in, don't just give them the SOP and say, oh yeah, go and sell. Train them. Train them well. Continue to reinforce it. Some businesses do Monday meeting. Some businesses do Wednesday meeting. Some businesses do Friday meeting. Some businesses do Monday and Friday. It's up to you. However you want to be meeting with your sales team. But you have to reinforce this thing. That is all make it possible so that when you and Madam are chilling in Cyprus from 2nd of February 2027, God willing, they will not be calling you anyhow because they've been trained. Then, when it comes to building the team, we have to make sure that we hire the right candidate. Ogochukwu, let me repeat this thing very, very well. This is where we run into trouble. We have to hire the right candidate. Some people believe that you can hire anybody and then train them to do the job. Unfortunately, we need to hire well. Let me just put it that way. Now, it's not about the person's degree. Remember, we're talking about sales now. We're talking about sales. If your business was you run a medical practice and you're a brain surgeon, then it's a different thing. Now, in this case, we have to make sure that all your doctors who come in, we need to make sure that they have passed their exams and they are certified by Nigerian Medical and Dental something council, or that they went to a good school, that they didn't go to fake university. But we're talking about sales. Now, when it comes to sales, degree is not important. So whether the person studied mass comm or law or engineering or theater or brain science or nuclear, it's not important. In fact, I think it's not even important whether the person finished university or not, or finished secondary school or not. Of course, if the person looks like they can carry on a decent conversation and they sound literate enough, I think we can make it work. Remember, for the purpose of sales, we don't need specialized knowledge. Or rather, the kind of specialized knowledge we need is the kind of specialized knowledge that can be learned on the job. So your own is real estate now. So even if somebody studied mass comm, it's not a problem. You can hire them. But then the specialized training that they need to be able to relate with customers, to be able to relate with quantity surveyors, to be able to go to land and registry to check out documents, to be able to do comparative analysis that okay, the lands in Oka and the lands in land in where again? In Umuahia, to run comparative analysis, which one is cheaper or which one is, all those things, they can be learned on the job and learned with time. So in the beginning, you do not need that specialized knowledge. But of course, specialized knowledge helps. So if you're hiring somebody and the person went to school and the person studied, okay, what will you study now for real estate? Is it URP? URP, urban and regional planning. Okay, no, that's too much. URP is too much. Anyway, you get some kind of courses that they will study in school that, okay, I guess it will help them to be a much more effective real estate person. But what we need to look out for, really, first of all, is willingness to learn. Now, it is hard for me to explain willingness to learn. So the way I tell people is we need to look for a person with a hear word. I repeat, the first thing we do when we want to get a salesperson is we're looking for a person with a hear word. Because somebody who does not hear word cannot sell well for you. You are coming in, you are building a business, you are establishing a reputation, you're dealing with high net worth individuals, you're building yourself a solid network. You have a reputation to protect. You have certain business philosophies you're trying to uphold. So there's a way that you think selling should be done for you and for your business and for the thing you're trying to build. Somebody who doesn't hear word will come and start trying to do things any which way. They'll rubbish your name. They'll rubbish your business. So you need to hire a person where they hear word. First of all, somebody who is teachable, somebody who is coachable, somebody who is willing to learn. Because the thing about those people is, even when they don't agree with you, at least they'll tell you to your face, and people will quarrel about it or whatever, but, sure, they're willing to take dressing. So look for a person where they hear word. Then also look for somebody who has a sense of personal responsibility. There are some people who blame everybody. The reason why our family is like this is because my father did this in 1974. The reason why I failed my exam is because somebody snitched on me during the exam hall. The reason why this happened is because this. The reason why they sacked me at my last job is because this person did this. This. All those people who blame everybody for their problem, apart from themselves, please avoid those people. Somebody who does not have a sense of personal responsibility will always have an excuse why sales are not moving. They will always have an excuse. Always. I have malaria. Transport workers were on strike. I could not get to the office. You didn't buy me credit. Me and my wife, we had a quarrel. I mean, whatever it is, the excuses would never stop. So you look for somebody who has a sense of personal responsibility. And one way that people do that is, you ask them questions to try and see how they figured out challenges in the past. So one question, because sometimes my clients ask me to help them with recruiting people, one question that I asked was I asked them to tell me about the last job, and then I listen. I'm listening for all these things to be sure that they're teachable, they're coachable, and they take ownership, and they have a sense of personal responsibility about them. I always ask about challenges too. So, okay, your last sales manager, and what was the last thing people quarreled about? And I ask them. If the whole thing is me and my sales manager quarrel because of this, but the man is useless, the man is this, the man is this, everything is demand, or the madam. The person doesn't know whether he had anything to play in it. I know that person is going to be trouble. But if the person says, me and my sales manager, we clashed on this issue, the guy was coming at it like this, but me, I was trying to reason it like that. And so, I did it like this, I did it like that. The thing didn't work. Yeah, I could have done this better, but Shada, my line manager, he's an idiot. If the guy tells me like that, I now know that, okay, I'm dealing with a reasonable somebody. He can see that it takes two to tango. that the line manager had issues, but him too, he had issues. So I ask. So you ask, your last job, your last line manager, what was the basic? That work that you did, if the thing was so sweet, why are you leaving? What happened? You be conversational about it during the interview stage. Be conversational. Get them to relax. Let them be free. So this is your last job. It seemed like it was an okay job now. He said, it was okay. This one they were saying, what is the what happened? Just get them to relax. Let them be talking. So people who have personal responsibility about them. And then the final thing when it comes to growing your business by scaling through hiring a sales team is incentives. We got to make sure the incentives are aligned. There are some people who are just looking for flat salary. Honestly, I don't think those flat salary people are going to make good salespeople because sales requires, vim. It requires, like, see you now. I'm making this recording now because you're on the road, you're on the move. Somebody who takes flat salary, the person, like, what are they being on the move for? They don't want to be on the move. If you're paying them 400 every month, they want to collect their 400 every month, neat, without stress. But then, if you're hiring people and then giving them a base salary and then giving them some incentive, that kind of thing works with traditional salespeople. So you say, look, you know what? I'm giving you 250 every month, but that 250 is because, you must bath, you must eat, you must transport yourself. But this is what's going to happen. Every single time you score a deal and the deal is above 500, this is how much you take. The deal is above 1 million, this is how much you take. The deal is above 2 million, this is how much you take. Those kind of people are very, very, very motivated. Very, very motivated. But you have to discuss this thing of incentives. All these people that are looking for flat salary, you can't push them. You can't. So long as their 400K is coming every month, they're okay. They're okay. The calculation they're doing is okay, me, I'm getting 400. My wife too is getting 250, 400, whatever. Together as a household, we're making 800, and it's okay. We're good. It's all good. That's the calculation they're doing in their head. Excuse me. Well, then people who like incentives, the calculation they'll be doing is okay, yes, I have 250 now. But you get that Ogbuefi. If I'm able to close this thing, my own share from that Ogbuefi deal will be 1.36. Their eye is on the one that is in front. That's what will make them, join you as you're on the move. They'll be traveling with you. When you come back, they'll have one or two things that they are pursuing as well because they know what their own is going to be. Now, on this thing on incentives, this is where some business people get it wrong. Ugochukwu, never screw over your salespeople. Never. If you promise somebody that for everything you bring over 500K, your own is 5%, over 1 million, it is 10%, over 1.5, it is 11%, over 2 million, it is 12%. Just give it to them. Be square. You can come back later on and say, Kayode, in the beginning, this is what I said. But to be honest, I can't carry on like this again. I beg Kayode, no vex, but we got to renegotiate. Now, that is a different kind of conversation. Kayode will still vex, but he won't vex to the level if what you do is you agreed on 12%. Then Kayode went to go and bring a deal that is 40 million. You now did the calculation, 12% of 40 million is whatever it is, and you're now thinking, how can I carry all this money and give one person? And then, you just give Kayode what you think is a good deal. He will vex. And after vexing, he will start plotting his escape because he knows he can't trust you and you lose a good salesperson. This thing happens a lot. There's one professional sales guy that I met who used to sell for a car dealer in Abuja who was who used to sell Mercedes Benz. And they had the agreement of how much the commission was. And so the guy did a very good something, bumper harvest. When I say bumper harvest, I mean bumper harvest, like 200 and something million. Now time to collect the commission. The Oga, first of all, was not picking call. Then the Oga was not in the office. The guy traveled. When he came back, he now started talking from two sides of his mouth. Of course, the guy he was angry, but he didn't say anything. He had the conversation with his wife, and they agreed. So the minute he collected what the guy was going to give him, the guy just cut. He moved straight. And he started selling for another person. And this other person deals in armored vehicles. In fact, when I met the guy, I was shocked. I didn't know that there are people in Nigeria who drive around in armored vehicles. I was really, really shocked. I just thought that all the cars that you see around are just ordinary cars like my own. I didn't know that some people have like reinforced panels inside the car so that if you shoot a gun, wow, the bullet won't go inside. So armored vehicles, reinforced doors. I didn't even know that there's bulletproof glass. Bulletproof glass. What again? I didn't know that that kind of world exists in Lagos and Abuja. There are people who customize cars like that. So that's the person that he's selling for now. And so far, everything is okay because what the guy promised is what he does. And so he knows, his own. Every month he's receiving this. If he's able to do bumper harvest outside and bring it back in, he knows how much is his own. So to scale, to grow by scaling and getting a team, these are the kind of things I need to pay attention to. There are other things, but these are the ones that are usually on my mind. Like, let's make sure we secure these ones first. But, don't screw over your guys, especially your good guys. If you told them 20%, pay them the 20%. Then if the 20% is paying you too much, you can call them back. Look, we're all human beings now. It's all approach. You call them back. Carry chingere. Initially, when I said like this is what I thought. Then the going was good, But you understand, this economy is like this, like that, like that. I beg, one and no vex. We got to renegotiate. Have the conversation. Don't screw over your salespeople. So you can see why I said let me respond by voice note, because if I was typing, my fingers would be tired, and then of course it would be too long for you to read anyway. So yeah, that's it. We will continue with the training tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, like as we agreed. So 8:30 in the morning. And I'm looking forward to that session. Any other questions? Yeah, just send. The one I can respond sharp. I'll respond sharp. If it requires too much grammar, I will just do another voice note. Just like you self, you did voice note, and then we'll continue to relate like this. Then also, I'll put this up on the podcast as well, so that you can, so that you can learn from it. So cool. So have a safe journey. I'll call you later in the evening after I'm done with my radio show. And any which way, we'll be seeing tomorrow.